Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, let's get on with part 2 of upgrading our monitoring system and getting it online. So here we go. Alright, so let's look at what we got to do here. So we're at 3 inches up and no more than 6 inches over. So we'll go right there. Pretty quick. Wow. Alright, now before we do anything else, let's go ahead and we'll cut that strand from underneath. And let's we'll hook up the vacuum real quick and we'll get this all vacuumed up and we'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, so we have to make one cable on the 4-aught first. And then we'll connect up the red cable, we'll run it and connect it up here once we get it there. But I want to make sure that we get at least this cable, one end of it made. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So what you want to do is take the lug here and you can measure how much you need to take off of the insulation. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight. And I've already got this in my crimper, so we're just going to get this in here. As you can see, I'm going to give it a couple of cranks, tighten it down. And go until it won't go anymore. And it,
that's a handy tool.
Okay. And we'll set this off to the side for a minute. And then you want to check this, make sure it's in there nice and tight, and then we're going to put a shrink tube over the top of that.
Sounds like a wood lamp.
It's getting hot, yay. Okay.
Up in your hair.
So this will come up through the hole. And connect right up into here. So we're not going to trim this off yet. Not until we get it where we want it. Alright, so I ran the cables, the ground or the negative cable and the positive cable, all the way over to the other side. And you can see they come up here, right here, and then we'll terminate them on the blocks over there once we get the Multiplus 2 installed. So right now it's time for lunch. Okay, so just kind of putting a couple finishing touches on this board. So this wire is in and ready to go. The Multiplus 2 is now attached to the board. This is all solid and ready to go. I put a couple of clamps on here. These aren't the exact size that I need. I'll change them out later on, but this will keep it in place. It won't flop around for me. Okay.
There he is. All right.
Okay. So we're gonna have to get this out of the way for a minute.
There with your light. I'll be over on that side.
Alright, so first thing we'll do is we'll get this cable run.
Through that hole there. That's good. What we need. That's perfect. There's that. Wow. That's cool.
Okay, so we have everything pretty much connected up. So we showed you a little bit about the wiring. Let's kind of go over that again. So I'm going to take the camera from my camera person, my beautiful camera person, show you where we're at in here. So everything is reconnected back up and we're actually operating now. You can see I did move the transfer switch, and the extra light right there is so that I can videotape this. Okay, you can see the solar charge controller there, as well as the servo. Now our next step is to get the servo connected up to the monitor. So let's bring that in. So you can see how that's connected up there. And one of the things I did do when I changed out the sorry about that. When I changed out the inverter charger from the GoPro from GoPower, I left a cable in here. Let me find that real quick. Sorry, I gotta get on my knees. There it is, right there. So that's this was the monitoring cable for the GoPower, and I'm going to use this right here. Pull the cables from the servo over there. You can see where all those wires are going up right there. And let me zoom this out a little bit. So that's where those cables are going to go through, so that I can get them connected up to the servo right there. Okay, so let's go up inside. You can see turn on some lights. So there's the GoPower that's coming out, and we're going to put up the screen for the Servo Mark II, and we'll connect up also to our battery monitoring system, our shunt. Okay, and you can see there's our surge protector and where our voltage is at. We got 123, 122 respectively. All right, so we're going to get to that. I'll try to videotape as much as possible, show you what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this off. And I hope that this hole's not too big for the other bracket. If it is, I'm going to have to go and get a piece of Luan and paint it and put it behind it. So we'll see. Okay, so there we go. It'll be close.
Yeah, I think it's gonna fit.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna take that out. And for right now, I'm just gonna tape it so I don't lose it. Okay, so now,
Tape right there so he doesn't lose it.
I don't lose it. So now let's see where we're at here. And believe it or not, the hole's too big. So what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go to Home Depot and I'll pick up some Luan and just cut it just big enough to fit here so that I can screw this onto it. Yeah. So let's do that. I'll run down to Home Depot and get what we need. That way we can get this mounted. And I might get a plate. We'll see.
You might get a plate.
Yeah, but as you can see back here, there's a lot of room to pull these wires. And we're going to be able to get that in there and get it down. And that way we're going to also have to pull out the, or maybe not. Might be able to get the plug in right there on the back side of the battery monitor. Okay, unfortunately I got started without including you. So I went down and I bought this piece of sheet metal. And then I took the monitor I had for the Go Power and I put it here. And I used a Sharpie to outline. And then I used some tin snips to cut this out. And then I went over to the grinder and I just kind of grind this down a little bit just to smooth it out. And then I put this back on here to mark the holes so that I can drill this. So that'll be the first thing I do now is, let me do that. Okay, so here we are pretty much done with the install. So let's take a look at what we got going on down here. Let's see if I can get you down low enough. So you can see how 12 volt here to the battery. And then of course over here, you got your AC input and output, your ground. And no, I'm not using a green cable, I'm using a white, but I've got a green piece of tape on the other end of that. And then I've got two networking cables, a blue one and a yellow one. Oh, the blue one is going to the servo, the GX. And the yellow one, I'm gonna keep there if I ever need to connect a computer to the Multiplus. And if you've looked at the previous video I did on this, I was able to connect up the computer and make adjustments to the system here. Which I always want to check and update firmware and do that kind of thing to the system. So that's why I'm going to leave this connected, but I'm just going to kind of hook it up and just kind of have it sitting by if I need it. So let's take a look inside the servo and see how we have everything connected up. All right. Okay, so there's the servo right there. So now I want to do a couple things. Is I kind of ran this through its paces a little bit before I did this because I wanted to make sure what I was doing here. So there's 3 USB ports right here. This one closest to the HDMI port is the power for the GX50 monitor screen that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. And then you've got the VE direct connects here, one for solar and the other one for the battery. And then the blue internet wire, and I ordered this from Victron, actually from Blue Marine. It's a Victron cable, and it's connected to the last port over here, RJ45 port, that connects this up to the monitor. So I've got the Victron Multiplus 2 on the blue cable. I've got the solar, I've got the shunt for battery monitoring, and then I've got the cable. And then I've got lots of other things that I can hook up here, but our Montana is pretty well automated to a certain degree. And once I get internet hooked up, then those will stop flashing, and we'll be able to talk to this from anywhere. And then we also have some sensors that we're going to hook up here shortly. So let's take a look at what the inside looks like. All right, so let's take a look. So we went ahead and got the cable run here. It was a little difficult to do and be able to videotape at the same time. But I'll tell you what we did on the back of this. There's an HDMI cable and a USB cable, and I had to put 10-foot extensions on them to get them to reach all the way to the servo. So, and as you can see, it works just great. You can see right now the inverter charger is in float mode. and we're using about 170 watts from the grid, and right now we're putting out about 110 watts on the inverter. The inverter is the charger, I should say, is just keeping the batteries charged. And then of course the batteries are 100%. We have nothing coming in from the solar chargers. And right now we're using about 129 watts of DC power. Isn't that amazing? I love it. Now, this just shows the battery's voltage. This is the Victron Energy battery monitor. And we have connected on the back of this is the plug for the monitor that goes down to the servo. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got going on here. So right here in the lower right hand corner there is a let's go back to that setup, and then we can go to the menu, and you can see the 3 different units that we have connected right now. And later on we're going to connect up some sensors for the refrigerator and the freezer and the inside of the trailer, so we can monitor them from far away. And be able to get alarms if things go on. So right now, let's take a look at the Multiplus 2. And you can see right now, state of charge. And you got active AC input, AC line 1. It tells you what the voltage is, the amperage is, the wattage is, and what the frequency is. And then you can continue to move up. It's all touch screen. You can set up alarms. You can set up devices. Pretty cool. So we'll back out. We'll go to the solar charge controller. It shows you what's going on with that. Right now we're not drawing anything because it's dark outside. And we'll back out, we'll hit the battery, the shunt, and state of charge is at 100%. Consumed amp hours right now is at negative 1.5 amp hours. So we're adding energy to the batteries. Okay. And then we'll hit this back to where we were. And so it's really easy to set up. It connects right up. And so I really didn't have to set up any additional services. But now what we will do is we're going to connect the servo to the internet once we get our internet set up. And that is going to be one of our next videos, is setting up our internet service. We're going to, some of you know that we had, and you'll notice our PEP wave is missing. Yep, it's missing in action right now, and that's because we're getting ready to set up something else a little bit better, and we're going to hold that in abeyance until you guys catch the video. But let's we'll give you a little hint. The words are Starlink Mini. So we're going to take the plunge, but it's not the big full-size antenna, it's just a mini antenna. All right, so that's it for this video. Appreciate you guys coming along. I hope you learned a little something about getting one of these things set up. This thing's pretty much automatic. It set itself up. Very minor adjustments to the setups, but other than that, it did a great job. So leave a comment down below if you have any questions about what we did, or want to add a comment about something you'd like us to do in the future. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We definitely want to make sure everybody gets a chance to subscribe, and hit that like button. It really helps us with the algorithms here on YouTube. All right, guys, well, have a good day, and we will see you hopefully on the road.